Okay, let's do this. Hi, guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show thus far. I have a wonderful, beautiful, talented, sexy um, guest. No, don't. Life happens, Leli. Don't even worry about it.
You just
Life happens. There's dogs. We're here. We're enjoying ourselves. Guys, welcome Leli Hernandez to our soul revival. Leli, thank you so much. First of all, you travel so much. You're so busy. You have so much going on. So I'm grateful forever for you to be here with us and sharing your story. And I love your dog. So everybody give Leli a little warm round of applause. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Honestly, I'm more than honored. I've always been a big fan of all your movies. So to me, honestly, from the moment I met you, I mean, you're a sweetheart. And honestly, for me, it's like, oh my God. I was like telling my mom, I was like, how crazy is like I grew up, well, you're very young, but I'm saying like
no, you can say
I grew up watching your movies. So I'm honored to feel part of it, me doing my thing and I had to make time for this.
Thank you so much. I remember when we met I've known Leli now. Leli, how long do you think we've known each other?
Well, I moved to LA 7 years ago. So, and I know you were one of the first people I met. I think my first year there. I met you for the first time at a bowling alley. At Pins. And I had just moved there. Bentley, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I moved there, and I remember I saw you at a bowling alley, and I was like, I remember I told my best friend from high school, I was like, oh my God, I know that's her. Like in that moment, I didn't know your name, but I knew your face, and I was like,
but you said hi.
I did say hi, and we took a picture with you. But then eventually, like we properly met when I was already like working in the industry, and I don't really remember how. Like I don't know.
I remember becoming really aware of you through Bo and through, and I was like, oh my God, yes. And then you became like this YouTube sensation, and now you're like, you're an up and coming singer. I want to hear everything. So I want to go and talk about the resiliency aspect of it, but I want you to tell our guests how you got here. How you went from being this YouTube sensation to now being a performing artist and having really the platform that you have, because that's huge. You have tons of followers. You're still so young. You do carry yourself with a certain level of grace and maturity, and that you can't really teach that. So sorry, guys. Damn it. Go ahead. You can't really teach that.
Yeah, so I think it's been a lot of discipline. I always knew exactly what I wanted. And from the moment I moved to LA, I came from a background of theater and acting and little opportunities that I had locally in Miami, like when I was 6 years old on Sao Gigante. And yeah, so I came from very small. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be an entertainer. But I think it was like moving to LA, a lot of people think like, oh, you moved to LA and you're just going to make it and you're just going to know everybody and that's really not how it is. So when I went there, I went with a very open mind, but obviously my parents kept telling me, you need to go to school, you need to study something, you need to get educated. And for me, it was like, I didn't know what to really study, because being in the industry, I realized that either you go to Juilliard, right, and you study act like theater, and you either do it big or you do little courses here and there. So I was like, I've never really seen someone study like theater or acting at a regular school. So I was like, you know what? Let me learn more about the business of it, because the craft I had been already practicing my entire life. I had already been learning, so many different types of ways of how to act or how to be on camera or perform on stage. And for me, it's like I wanted to go a little deeper, and I've always been good with numbers, and I was like, I'm all about the business too. So in that moment, I couldn't go to school because I was out of state. It was very expensive. So I started working at a production company behind the scenes. And that's what got me the foot in the door, and got me to like meet people. Everyone thought I was older than what I was, which I wasn't. At the time I was 18, but I was around so many people that were older than me that I got to learn a lot. And it was like, I was interning, but I was just there to learn, like I was working from 8 o'clock in the morning till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, because it was a production company that they were producing like a couple shows at the same time.
Right.
So I was in office as I was also like on the field. So it was cool because I got both experiences. I got like the business aspects of like being on the phone with NBC and Viacom and like all these big networks, you know, doing notes and at 18 and like looking at old emails from the old assistants to kind of know how to write. And, you know, so I got so much like on-hand experience that when I finally was able to like make a decision to like go for my own career and just kind of like take that experience, I was able to take that with me, you know? And luckily when the whole social media came about, it was like, it was all together. I already had the connections behind the scenes with all these shows that I was working on. And then I was always like a social butterfly, which I think in LA it's not as common. I came from Miami, very like friendly, and I was never like the popular kid in school, but I was always friends with everyone. Like I was the kid that everybody knew, but not because I was popular, because I was.
I don't believe that, but okay.
Yeah, but it's weird because everyone. The other day, I bumped into someone that said that they knew me in high school. They're like, yeah, you know, we always knew you're going to be somebody because you're popular, and I was like, I was. But the thing was that it wasn't that I was like the cliche popular kid that you see in school.
Right.
Like, it was more of like I was friends with literally everybody. Like if I saw a kid that was sitting by themselves, I would invite them to come eat with us. Like it made me feel bad to see someone like. Actually, even nowadays, I'll go to lunch, I'll see like un viejito, like someone like sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, like why are you sitting? You know, so
yourself,
yeah. So I've always been very friendly, and I think that really helped. Although I was to a certain extent shy, I didn't know how to break the ice at first. But once I was in, like I was always very friendly, and I think in my career, my journey, I think what has helped me is my charisma, my you know, the way I'm with people, and I think that really attracts, you know, people to want to like be around you. So that helped a lot.
I'm really happy that you said that, because basically what you're describing is your humanity. And so we're going to get into that, because that's what the show is about, and not so many words, is our humanity, how we've been able to deal, cope, and create a platform for ourselves that helps us grow, but also we're leaving something behind for other people. So you said a couple of things that you mentioned family and growing up and how important it was for your family. And I understand this fully because I also come from a Latino family. And for my parents, it was imperative that I went to school and that I get a degree, and which I ended up going to school and dropping out 2 years in at the time to go to acting school. Right. So it's all about your desires and your passions. But in regards to your cultural upbringing, I know that we talked briefly about it, but tell me a story of resiliency. Like, did you have to overcome your parents maybe, you know, not holding you back, but, you know, kind of guiding your way? How did you manage the cultural aspect of your life, which is a big part of who we are, right? That's kind of what's amazing about Latinos family, that family is everything. Yeah. But how did you maneuver that to create space for you and for your dreams because that's important. Yeah.
You know, actually, you know, for me, I actually, it bothers me sometimes when people are like, oh no, you know, cualquiera llega, right? Like anybody could do it if you have a family like yours that supports you, and actually, you know, although my parents have always supported me, when I decided to not go to school, my dad cut me off completely. And that was, you know, everything. He stopped paying for my bills, he stopped paying for everything, which at the moment, obviously it bothered me because I'm like, well, now what? You know, I'm in LA by myself, and how am I supposed to survive out here without a job and, you know, and whatever. But at the same time, I'm kind of grateful for that, because thanks to that, I think to him, it was like, well, you're going to have to come back to Miami because you're not going to be able to survive on your own. Right. Obviously, he knows I have enough morals to not do anything crazy or, you know, do anything bad. So yeah, his thoughts were either you're going to go to school or you're going to come back home. So at that moment, I didn't rebel. I didn't, you know, I actually very respectfully, I gave him back the credit card he had gave me, you know, for emergencies. And I was like, you know what, if you're not going to help me, then don't help me at all, you know, and I'm going to figure it out. And that actually pushed me to want to work a little harder. You know, I had to work as an extra. And I mean, as an actress, I'm sure you know what that's like. I don't know if you ever had to be an extra, but the feeling is not as not how people think, you know, it's
not glamorous.
It's not glamorous.
It's not glamorous.
No, you have to be on set for over 20 something hours, you're earning like $80 a day, you know, and it seems like cool, but in the
shine.
yeah, but in the long run, as a person that's my passion, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be a person that has to be sitting over there, wait 20 hours to pass by the camera, like, you know. So it does something to you, you know, and it was that. Yeah, I had to. I was a brand ambassador for a lot of brands that were probably in the hoods of LA. You know, I had to do a lot of many jobs. I was a PA. Right. I one of my favorite jobs, honestly, was a on the road PA. I was like the PA that would like send the checks from one network to the. I would go to Paramount and like just submit some check, and I thought that was so cool. But I did a lot of
talent around.
Yeah, I had to drive all around LA and like go to all these big studios, but all of that, not only did it help me in the long run because I met so many people along the way, but it you know, it just helped me to como que chapalante, like to go, like move forward, like. Oh
my God, I love that.
And that was something that at that point I realized, I was like, and you know, so many times, even with the videos on Instagram and the comedy, you know, at the beginning, you know, my dad was like, oh, those little videos, those little stupid videos, and I was like, okay, just because, you know, like they didn't see the value in it, which is fine. But eventually it was like I was able to not only myself but my own family wrong. Like, you know what, I'm gonna make a career out of anything that I'm doing. You know, eventually it's gonna pay off. And I think, I mean, coming from a religious family and stuff, I believe that like God puts things in your, you know, you work hard and then he aligns everything, you know, and I feel like that's a lot what happened for me. Like a lot of people are like, well, how did you do this? And I was like, I feel like in this industry, and you could probably back that up, is that there's no really a path. Everyone has their own path. You know, everyone has different opportunities and different ways of how they made it or you know, or doing things. For me, I think it's just been persistence, discipline, and just always being, I guess, at the right place at the right time. But I feel like I put myself in those situations many times. Like I would say no to like nothing. I would literally never say no to anything. Like I was always there. I was always on time, whether I was getting paid or not, you know, whether it was going to be a benefit or not. Actually, still right now, I went to LA and a friend of mine called me to go, like, I guess like a listening thing for a friend of ours. I mean, I didn't even know the artist, you know, and I went and then came out of there with like a whole contact, you know, a producer that like produces for like Cardi B and all these people. And I'm like, I didn't even go for that, you know, like, so, but I guess it's because I'm not a person that's like, oh no, if it's not for me, if there's no benefit, I'm not going. It's like, okay, if I have the time, why not? You know? So I always feel like it's that saying, I don't know if I know it, but it's something of like,
you're going to say it.
Preparation meets opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And luck is when preparation meets opportunity, because there's no such thing as luck, right? You create everything around us right now, every situation, and although even the situations that we call upon us that are not the most favorable, they're there to serve us ultimately. Yeah. So I love everything you just said, because, you know, you talk about God. God will continue to give you the same lesson until you learn it, and then you can graduate to the next one.
I'm still learning,
right? Yeah. And in every situation. Okay, I am so happy you're basically just like taking this interview and running with it and giving us all, you know, how hard you worked, how, you know, you really have to show up even when you're not getting paid, ultimately prepared, because you never know where the opportunity lies. Yeah. I want to shift a little bit to last year. COVID was crazy for all of us. And I want to be cognizant of the fact that this is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. Yeah. You know, maybe some of you listening are have been affected in a deep, meaningful way that I haven't. I haven't lost anybody due to COVID, so I want to say that if COVID is a touchy subject for you, which it is for all of us in many different ways, but if you've lost someone, or if you're in the middle of that right now, my heart goes out to you, and I'm very sorry that you're going through that. We're here on this conversation gonna focus on the resiliency aspect of it. Those of us that have so many hurdles to overcome, from mental instability to depression, just to how it really has affected all of us individually. Do you have a story that you want to share, or something that you had to overcome during COVID, your family? Because that's really what we want to do. This is a platform that we created to get vulnerable about everything that's going on around COVID and how it's affected the entire world in such an enormous way.
Yeah, well, for me, it was a lot, actually. Not that I ever really expressed it or you could ever tell, but I made so many changes during COVID, especially the beginning. I moved from LA, where I was living 7 years, where it's where I didn't grow up in LA, but I went at 18. So that's like my growing years, right? My official growing as an adult years.
Right.
And in my career. And I made that change to move back home to Miami, where I said that I would never move back unless either I made it or I gave up. So it was neither for me. I didn't give up, but I also don't feel like I made it, to a point where like I could be anywhere and I just would get called, Yeah. So when I moved back, I realized I experienced so much loneliness. And with me, like I've never been alone. Like I've never been in a situation where like I don't have anyone or to talk to or that understands me or like nothing. So I come back here and I thought I'm going to be closer to my family, which I am, which is amazing. I've gotten a lot closer to my parents, especially. But many times I felt off. I felt like I didn't relate to a lot of the people that were here. I was, I feel like we were all living a life where we were all like in a rush to like the next goal or the next thing or the next event. And it really taught me to like kind of slow down and take everything in for what it is and not force things. Like I feel like, even for me, like I feel like I was always in a rush comparing myself. Like I'm 25, right? I'm too old. Like I have to do this, I have to do that. And I felt like I was constantly comparing my career and my life to other people, without realizing that everyone has their time, and everyone's timing is supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen. And there's reasons why things don't happen when they don't. So I had to really learn that. And in moments where I had those down times, I felt like I analyzed something that to me was really crazy. Was I felt like I was living a life like a robot, where every day I would wake up and it was a routine of I did this, I did that, and my days were booked with things to do. But then it was like when I had nothing to do, I was like a lost soul. Like, what do I do? What does Leli like to do on her free time? Like, and then when I realized that, it really made me feel bad, because I was like, I don't even know what I like to do. Like, I know what I like, but when I'm not doing anything, like I'm almost like lost, like depressed.
Like what feeds your soul and what makes you
and sometimes I feel like most Americans too, I feel like we live a life where like our work is our life, right? Our lives revolve around our work, our careers. So I feel like when I had all this downtime, or like we had all this free time, I was like, I need to start enjoying things that I like and start figuring out what those things are. Because as we grow, the things that I might have liked 10 years ago, 5 years ago, are not the same things that I like now. So I started connecting with myself more, and I realized I like nature. I like going on adventures. I like, obviously traveling has always been something that I liked, I think, for all of us. But
all of us, right?
Yeah. But just normal things like painting, like reading, like writing, I find so much joy in writing. I love writing. And I knew that already because of the music. That's kind of the reason why music came into my life. But just writing in general, like free writing, like I realized that I am able to really process my thoughts, because my thoughts go at like 1,000,000 miles per hour, and I think 1,000 things at once. So I realized how to calm those, overthinking, anxieties and stuff like that I think I've never experienced before. And obviously in a time like COVID, where we're so unsure of what's going on, people, there's so much bad news. Like, I think it was important for us to really connect with ourselves.
I love so much of what you said. You were so vulnerable in accepting the fact that so many of us fall prey to these thoughts that we're always comparing, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? What am I not doing? Am I not doing enough? Why am I here? I love that you said that, because Leli, that is a hard thing to say and to admit and to realize about yourself. And it puts you in a place of power to be able to, when you're able to be self-reflective like that and look at yourself. That's like my best friend will tell you, I always say, know thyself.
Yeah.
Because if you know yourself and you just went gave us 3 good minutes of how COVID really made you sit down with yourself and understand the things that feed your soul, the things that Leli likes, not just giving to the world, but how do I sit alone with myself and enjoy my own company? Exactly. What do I enjoy? Yeah. What things make me happy? What things bring me joy? And you know what? The richer your inner life is, the more it's going to show up in your work, especially as an artist. I mean, I know that you know this because you've.
Well, actually, that's the reason why I had to tap in so much into my, inner self, because a lot of what we do is creativity. And if our mind's not right, not our creativity isn't either. So for me, it's like when I feel good and I look good, my ideas are crazy. Like I have all these ideas and I just want to get them done. But when I'm not feeling myself, or when I'm not feeling good inside, or when I'm going through many things in my head, I can't function. Like I can't do anything. Right. I'm not myself. And one of the things that make me is me being myself. So definitely that. And even, going back to the comparing thing, it wasn't even coming from like an envious way either, because, some people like, it wasn't like that, which is where I would catch myself. I'm like, why am I comparing myself to this person? Why am I feeling this way? But I think it's very human in us. I think it's very normal for us to sometimes think something's wrong with us. It's not that we're not happy for other people or we see it. It's more of like, what am I doing wrong? Should I be doing this? Should I have done that? And, it's just things that it's kind of like we're our biggest critic. Like we're really hard on ourselves sometimes. And it's really important that we like catch ourselves when we do that, because I wrote something the other day, which is a quote that I had heard before, but it's like we live most of our lives in our heads, so make sure it's a happy place to be in. And and when I read that, I was like, I live by that, because it's true. Like I'm an overthinker, and I was like, I need to start controlling those things.
So to kind of tie everything together, so writing is sort of meditative for you.
Yes.
You like being in nature. What does that look like? So what are your meditative practices? And you just mentioned your mantra. So you're already giving me everything that I was going to ask.
I was giving you that.
You live by a mantra. You do. You live by how you gauge it by asking yourself, what are the thoughts in my head? Because we live in there. So am I creating a fertile place of beauty and like joy? And then you write.
Yes.
Are those your meditative practices, or do you do other self-help or self-love rituals that you do?
I usually do a lot of things. I think, as I'm a Gemini, so as a Gemini.
My daughter's going to be a Gemini.
Really?
Yeah.
One of my close friends, her son's birthday is the same day as my birthday. I remember when she called me. She's like, "Oh my God, happy birthday! My son is born."
When's your birthday?
June 15.
What is it? May 15th?
June 15th.
That's my mom's birthday.
Really?
Okay, we have to have my mom is the best person in the world. I get it now.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Okay, go ahead.
So as a Gemini, I feel like I'm a person that I can, my moods bounces a lot. Maybe as a woman in general, but my moods bounce a lot. But I'm a person that I can't be in a depressive mode for too long. Like I have to like shake it off. Like I'll be sad for a little bit, and then that's it. I'm like, okay.
Time to move on.
Exactly. Right. But usually in those moments are where I really, really work on like those, like I really try hard on those self-love rituals and things to do, because those are the times when we feel, our weakest, and especially when it comes from other people that make you feel that way. And I feel like a lot of what I do is like, I'll have guided meditation, like where, I kind of, whether I'm going through anxiety or stressed or whatever it is, like I like listening to guided meditation. I don't like just to listen to just music just by itself, unless like if I can't sleep, then I'll have like classical music in the background. Right. But for the most part, I like guided meditation. I realize that has really calmed me down when I'm really going through anxiety or whatever I'm feeling. I love candles, like just candles all over.
Create a little sanctuary for yourself.
Yeah, it's like a very, and then I think eating healthy helps a lot too. Like when you're eating healthy and you feel like healthy, it really does help a lot, because it's like when your house is messy. If your house is messy, that's exactly how you feel. So
yeah.
So I think it's a lot of like just nothing crazy. I don't do anything crazy. I like going to the beach. When it comes to nature, I realize I really like mountains, which is weird because in Miami, I never grew up with mountains, in Miami. Yeah. But after living in LA and then experiences in DR and just different places I've gone, I really like just being like up, like on a mountain.
High elevation, close to the sky.
Yeah, I like the ocean a lot. Like that's like a very peaceful thing for me. But other than that, like, you know, recently, you know, being obviously my family, that's number one, always like being around my family. But for myself, just being on my own, I really like just keeping things clean, meditation, a guided meditation. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
You're like a breath of fresh air, and you're so young, and you have so much.
Now, this is now after years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you know what? Most 25-year-olds don't. I mean, I when I was 25, I don't know that I had all this clarity about things, and I was certainly working in the industry, and I was going through a lot of the same things that you mentioned. But you know, yeah, it's analyzing yourself and knowing yourself and creating space and grace for the feelings that you're feeling and getting through those things is really important. So I commend you on that. Okay, so we're going to close out. Is there anything that you're working on that you want to promote and share with our Soul Revival crew? We're so happy to have you, and I'm so excited for you, Leli. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Really am.
I'm super excited, you know, and actually doing this to end like Women's Month. I think it's super important, and it's I love it. No, but right now we're releasing a song Tuesday, March 30th. And it's a remix. I'm in it, which is very like, it's No Scrubs remake, but it's Spanish.
Nice. I love that. I love that song. In Spanish? I can't wait to hear it. I cannot wait to hear it.
So I'm excited about that. And I'm going to continue with the music, and hopefully I'll be able to share some of the things that we got going on. Yeah. And then I have another show that I'm working on with my best friend, Henao. Very women empowering, which I'm super excited about. I'm not gonna say what it's called, but
don't give it away if you can't. We're always looking, and if you ever want to promote anything on our platform or through me, like we can always talk and get creative, because I believe in the power of women, and I believe that the more that we help each other rise, the more opportunities come our way.
Yeah.
And I know that you feel the same way. I see it the way you are with your type group of friends, because I witnessed you guys. We were at Coachella one year together, and I was like, those girls, they're going to do something.
Yeah, no, I think that's for me, I think that's the biggest part, like of one thing that I've learned. What's for you, it's for you. And that's why I will continue to help whoever I can help along the way, and help create, you know, together, because at the end of the day, like, it's like they say, teamwork makes the dream work. And I really believe in that. And I love seeing my friends do well. And I think we've all kind of been really good at helping each other, you know, grow and come up with ideas.
Support each other. And there's nothing in this world that was meant for you that won't come your way. So let's leave it there. Te quiero mucho. Te mando un besito. Saludos a tu mami. Yo sé que she wants to leave, but we haven't let her. Leli, thank you so much. I want to send you a big hug and a kiss, and please keep us posted on everything that you do going forward. We'll be looking anyway, because we all follow you. And thank you for being a Soul Revival guest today. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Congrats on the baby. I can't wait to see her.
I can't wait to see her either. I don't even know what's going to happen when they put her on my chest. I might just explode. I don't know. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Let's stay tuned. We have so much more coming up. The program is only, it's not just getting started, but I hope you guys are enjoying. Thank you, Leli. And let's move on. Thank you guys.